So I'm Mark Wells. I'm Head of Product Strategy and Industrial Design. Chief of Design is my job title at Royal Enfield. And what that basically means is I have two core teams. One team that look after the direction of the product, so the kind of instigation of the idea, the genesis of the idea. They write the design brief, the targets, they set the targets, the attributes, they understand the voice of the customer, and they set the direction for the product. And then another team, which is industrial design, and their job is to create the look and the feel of the bike. So any of the sort of the human factors of design. So they're not engineers, but they're artists and creators, and I do have some engineers in the team, but fundamentally that team's job is to do styling is one part of that, but all of the sort of the human factors that go into making a motorcycle. So there are many areas like ergonomics that are a collaboration of multiple teams. Ergonomics have a big effect on the way a bike looks, for example. So it all rolls in together. But those two teams, that's their core functions. So this is our new Hunter 350, based on our J engine platform. So our J engine is our air-cooled 350 cc engine, designed to go in the Meteor 350, the Classic 350, and obviously the new Hunter. So it's a really characterful engine. It's got quite a lot of torque to it. It's got a lovely high inertia crank to it, which means that you can kind of almost, you get this feeling of when you come up behind a car and you have that little hole in the throttle response, and then you dug, and it just picks up that inertia, just carries you through and keeps you going on, and it gives you just really nice tractability to the engine. It's a lovely usable engine, especially in town. And that really was the core goal for this product. So to create a motorcycle that would be a little bit more appealing to a slightly more youthful market. So our Classic is very heritage driven, is beautifully detailed and very authentic. With this, we wanted to create something that was just a little bit more youthful, so still clearly inspired by our heritage. There's clearly a lot of Royal Enfield's past in this motorcycle, but with a very contemporary twist to it. And so if you look at the styling, the forms of the bike, you can see we picked up design cues from some of our motorcycles in the past. So Royal Enfield have made a whole range of small accessible motorcycles in the past. So things like the Enzyme and the Clipper. And with this, we wanted to capture some of that feeling. So in particular, we looked at a bike called the Fury. Royal Enfield made a lovely little motorcycle called the Fury. And if you look at some of the sort of the shape of the seat and the shape of this frame rail, and all of that comes from that positioning. And I think it just, we've managed to create something that's got a really nice kind of dynamic to it. It feels really nicely proportioned and balanced. We wanted to make the bike really responsive and agile. We've worked hard to pull in the central package. So we've pushed in some of the sort of the bits that go under here, the fuses, the battery positioning, the airbox, and created that as tight as we can. We've created a very sculpted low seat height, so it's really easy to get nice and flat-footed on the bike. So when you sat on the bike, my knees are nicely bent there. It's a lovely, easy bike to maneuver around. We've sharpened up the steering angle. We've gone for 17-inch wheels front and rear. Combined with a change in the offset on the yokes gives a more aggressive rake and trail, which makes this bike really responsive and agile. So that kind of push-pull, when you're in traffic, you come up behind a vehicle and you want to get around it, and it's really nice and agile, which makes it great for the city, makes it a nice and easy bike to ride in traffic, but also means that when you get out onto the right, tight, twisty little, country roads, canyon roads or whatever, you can actually have a lot of fun on this bike. Yesterday we were a few miles east of San Diego, up in the canyons, and we found a really nice little downhill section, and we just kept going up and down this downhill section. It was so much fun just carving up and down the canyon roads. One of the things with the J engine that we wanted to address was the inherent vibration that you get with a single cylinder engine. So if you think of our old UCE engines, undeniably vibrate a lot at highway speeds, they were vibey. And we were keen that we talked a lot about what's character and what's unpleasant. So that balance of making sure that we kept that 350 character, that single cylinder thumper character, ironed out that vibration. So we've gone for a balancer shaft in this engine. So the balancer shaft sits, it's countered to the crankshaft, and it sits at the front there of the engine. And that means that it's a really smooth engine at speed. I remember when we first brought the engine out, there was a whole thing in India where somebody put a coffee cup on the fuel tank and it didn't spill coffee, and they kind of, everybody was lauding it and saying how great that is, and it's such a smooth engine at speed for a big single that inherently normally vibrate a lot. Typically in the past you can see what's going on in the mirrors and so on, and on this is very smooth. And it's, even though It's only a little 350cc engine, and even though it's only 24 brake horsepower, because of the torque and because of the way it delivers the power, you can sit quite happily on the highway. You know, we were doing 80 easily on the highway yesterday. We were following Brandon and Elizabeth, who were 2 up on a bike, and they were equally maintaining the speed. You know, nobody was struggling to keep up. We were we were moving with the flow of traffic on the highway. We were able to get around cars we were overtaking. So, you know, although I think the perception might be a 350cc engine is a small engine, especially in the United States where everything is double-sized, actually it works really well, and it does the job. That's our new Hunter 350. I'm really proud of it. I think our design team, I think Steve Everett and the team did a great job in the way it looks. I think our vehicle dynamics team and our lead chassis development rider, a guy called Paul Young, did a brilliant job on the handling and the dynamics of the vehicle. Yeah, I'm really, really proud of the bike, and I just hope people, you know, give it a chance, get on it, give it a test ride, see what you think, because I think you're going to love it. I certainly do, and I hope other people do.